So we're now in the year 2022, and I can't believe the first thing I'm gonna be doing is doing an unboxing book haul video. Well, technically, all these books that I'm gonna be unboxing right now were all purchased and delivered to me in December. It just so happened that a million and a hundred things has to happen for December, and I just really had to prioritize getting through my reading TBR, doing my reviews on them, and then wrapping up the month with my best of the year list too. I have always thought the unboxing can wait for January, and here we are. So, yes, I counted, and a total of 9 books had been waiting for me, just sitting there for a couple of weeks for the month of December, and I finally have time to unbox them now so that I can also record my January TBR, which is coming up in the next few days. And I'm just excited to read books again. I'm not even gonna waste my time and energy declaring that I'm gonna be placing myself on a book buying ban. That just never happens, really. But I'll try to prioritize completing all these books that I have acquired first before I think of adding more and more to my TBR pile. Right, so the first book of the haul, the footage you've seen at the beginning of this video was taken from that particular day in December when my brother and I went out to have a special day out and pamper ourselves. So while he's having his haircut done, I took my time and strolled at the nearby bookstore and got this book. Honest to goodness, I wasn't really intending or planning to buy anything. I just really wanted to browse the bookstore. But I guess that's what we always tell ourselves whenever we are about to set foot inside a bookshop or a bookstore, right? That we're not gonna buy anything, but we always come out the opposite of empty-handed. So also, as you have seen, this book has been on a ridiculous sale, so can you really blame me if I could not deny buying it? This is The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. It's the second book in the King Killer Chronicles. As you can see, it's originally priced at 355 pesos, but it's been priced down to 99 pesos. So how could I resist, right? This is the second book. I've read the Name of the Wind. I can't count how many years ago, but like I've said before, I am not really a fantasy reader. I'm not a big fantasy reader. I've only read a handful, and this to me has always been a standout read in high fantasy. The storytelling is just chef's kiss, and I don't understand why it has taken me a long time to really pick up the second book. I'm now removing the sticker. I'm very scared. I don't want to ruin the cover. Oh my goodness. No, but seriously, I happened to accidentally stumble on several reviews of this book, and I know that the reception is mixed. Some people were saying that this book isn't really that solid of a follow-up, considering how the first book is legendary and epic. And some people are saying that these two books are still pretty much aligned with each other in terms of storytelling. So, I don't know. Should I hope? Should I not? They're on two different editions though, so the design and even the size don't really match perfectly, but as long as I have the second book, that's all that matters, right? Second book is actually another National Bookstore purchase, but this time I ordered it from Shopee. This is also another fantasy book. Looks like someone is really planning to get into fantasy this year. I am usually very picky when it comes to selecting fantasy titles, let alone YA fantasy, such as this book. But I didn't know, the premise of this one sounded really interesting to me. And also, the author is a writer that has always been consistently getting rave reviews, so I thought it's about time that I give her a try. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Stephanie Garber is quite famous for the Caraval series, right? So I think this is a new fantasy series that she's writing, and this is the first book so far. I haven't really read a lot of books in the past year, so of course it's no surprise that I haven't really read a book that is heavily centered on romance. But now that I think of it, the only book that I have read last year, for the year 2021, that is heavily centered on romance also happens to be a sci-fi fantasy-ish book, which was Gabriel's Ghost by Linnea Sinclair. So I thought, why not pick another romance-centered book, but hitting two birds with one stone, make it fantasy. So I thought this is gonna be a good fit for that. Also, I love it because the spine is a shade of pink. And if you know me, I'm always on the lookout for books that have shades of pink in their book cover design or their book spine color. Because as you can see, I don't really have a lot of pink shade or pink color on my bookshelf. So I thought we're gonna fix that this year. Third package is something I've ordered from the Big Bad Wolf. Again, I know I just had a book haul from them where I ordered 18 books, but I really can't resist. Also, it's just so festive that Lazada has changed their color from dark blue to red. I don't know, it's just so holidays. Let's just go ahead and open it. Alright, so we have two titles in here. This one, just so happens, is a graphic novel by Fumio Obata. It's about an arty young Londoner's return to home life in Japan. And I feel like 2022 should be a year that I should also be exploring graphic novels more. This is something that is greatly influenced by what I've read from Neil Gaiman, because he so passionately talked about comics and graphic novels in that book. So I had to really scan through the Big Bad Wolf titles to pick a good graphic novel selection, and I think this one is it. The art is just so whimsical, and the story is something that really interests me. It's a delicate and heartfelt look at the weight of family expectations, the uncertainties of grief, and the pull of two cultures, and reconciling the decisions we make. So, I think I'm gonna have a month that would be completely devoted to graphic novels. That'd be so exciting, wouldn't it? Second book is Starry River of the Sky by Grace Lin, who is an author critically acclaimed and award winning for several middle grade titles, I think. Fantasy, I'm not really sure, but this one is a historical fiction with elements of fantasy set in China, and I don't really know a lot of historical fiction that is middle grade, and this one has fantasy elements too, so it's hitting all the right things that I want to explore more for this year, and something that, or a genre that I'm have always been attracted to, which is historical fiction. So really excited to pick this one up. This is the fourth package, but technically this is the fifth book since the last one had 2 books total. And I ordered this from Biblio. I think they're also a pretty well-known shop selling some pre-loved books, some new books. Yes, I think they're a store. They also have their outlets in malls during pre-pandemic. I'm just not sure right now if that's still the case, but if you want to give them a try, I'm gonna put their link down below. You don't understand how long I've had this title on my cart. I've always been regularly checking if this book is still in stock or if it's still available, and for so many weeks this has been the last copy there is. So I've always been anxious about getting it, and it's finally with me now. So let's go. This is Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. You know what? I think this is actually a brand new remaindered copy. It's still tightly sealed and it looks brand new. Yeah. And they also gave me a bookmark. I'm always a sucker for whenever sellers provide bookmarks for free. Look. One thing that really drew me in, aside from the fact that Catherine Arden is such a critically acclaimed writer too, is the fact that this is endorsed by R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine is such a significant part of my childhood because of the Goosebumps series. During my middle grade years, I have devoured paperback upon paperback of Goosebumps, because my mom, whenever we would go malling and we would stumble upon chapters and pages or any thrift store that offers secondhand books, she would always allow me to pick titles because the titles are very cheap, and I always gravitate towards Goosebumps series. So it says here that R.L. Stein says this is terrifying and fun. This is supposed to be something dark and scary, of course, and it's middle grade, which is, not something you usually see a lot. So I thought, let me give this one a try. And we are down to the final package, which is, of course, from FullyBooked. These are a total of 4 books. 2 books I have bought under Neil Gaiman's influence from The View from the Cheap Seats. And another one I added just for fun. The 4th book I bought out of panic because that particular title always sells out and always go out of stock in a matter of minutes. So, I don't want to explain anymore. Let's just go ahead and open it. So this time the bookmark says, I have always imagined that paradise will be a kind of library, by Jorge Luis Borges. So just a brief backstory. I actually felt kind of validated as I was reading The View from the Cheap Seats from Neil Gaiman, because he talked about these 2 authors, and I happened to have purchased titles from the both of them during my Big Bad Wolf haul, and that was prior to me getting to the chapter where he talked about them. I mean, I was even surprised when Neil Gaiman talked about this book, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. I know that The Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy is well known, but when he talked about this book in particular, it just totally shook me that I have read this so many years ago, and I didn't realize that he's the one who actually wrote the foreword. So imagine how surprised I was. This is Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes, and Ursula Le Guin's Tales from Earthsea. So I think these are 2 writers that are very much representatives or regarded as pillars of the genre that they are known for. And I thought I would go ahead and pick up some more of the authors that he picked. Authors that I have always wanted to read more of, because I've known some of their work, only glimpses, and I thought I'm gonna be exploring them more this year. So in this FullyBooked purchase, I have picked these 2 titles. I am so excited to read them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is Edgar Allan Poe's Tales of Mystery and Imagination, and H.P. Lovecraft's Selected Stories. I know that the reason why their stories have lingered for centuries is because there must be such substance that needs to be carrying over from decade to decade, right? So, and then this title I bought for fun. Thomas Hardy's Test of the Urberville. Is that how you say it? But yeah, I bought this out of, you know, sheer ambition. Last year I have bought 2 Virginia Woolf books, A Room of One's Own and 3 Guineas, and Mrs. Dalloway. I really wanted to explore more classics in the year 2022, so I thought this would be a really good addition to that. Plot sounded really dramatic to me, but it says here that it's challenging the hypocrisy and social conventions of the rural Victorian world, so yeah. And then the final book from FullyBooked that I purchased was My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I think this is a psychological thriller that is very disturbing according to the reviews that I have watched for this novel. Actually, one interesting story about this book. Last night, my siblings and I tried the Shopee app Wrapped. Is that how you call it? How it works on Spotify, where they do an analytics presentation about your purchasing behavior, I guess, for the year 2021. And this happened to be my most expensive purchase. It's nearly 900 bucks. I can't believe it's more expensive. Oh, probably because I bought Pachinko at a discounted price with the voucher and everything. So, yeah. I'm always up for dark reads. A lot of people always say that this is unsettling, disturbing, thought-provoking, complex, and a lot of adjectives that always are right up my alley. So, I know I'm gonna enjoy this one for sure. I hope. So these are the 9 books for my very first haul of the year 2022. I really hope I would prioritize reading more this year and just get through my reading list before I purchase any more books. But yeah, as you can see, these titles are more on the genres that I want to explore more of, because I really wanted to broaden my horizon for the year 2022. As you can see, these are fantasy genres. I want to delve more into classics. I want to read more graphic novels. So I hope this is the year that we improve, innovate, imagine more. I hope we look back at the end of this year with a very satisfied assessment of our reading behavior, a reading list. I am excited to know more about your reading plans. What are you aspiring to achieve for the year 2022? And I hope we have a brilliant year in reading as always. Thank you so much for watching.